Brutalist architecture is a style of building design developed in the 1950s United Kingdom after World War II. It hinges on the use and exposure of the raw materials it's made from, such as concrete or brick. Le Corbusier was one of the most influential architects when it came to brutalist architecture, and is forever known as an icon of modernism. So, brutalist architecture was born in the 1950s as a contrast to the more common decoration of the 1930s modernism. It focused on the raw materials such as concrete. The term brutalism comes from the French béton brut, meaning bare concrete. Throughout our process of creating our design and overall style for this project, we researched through a plethora of images and other renders of interior designs in the brutalist style. Over time, we found certain aspects in designs and layouts that we really liked and thought would be really nice to replicate in our own scene. Key games that were influential for us were games such as Control, who had a heavy brutalist style in many of their environments. These influences mainly came from the other's house interior designs, and we borrowed a bit from the general brutalist architecture for our main and important architectural pieces. Things such as the beams, the ceiling designs. The elements of brutalism that we focused on is the monochromatic gray style that comes with using concrete as the main material. While researching, we found that some of the designs incorporate some plants to create an interesting juxtaposition, not only from the gray to green colors, but the manufactured look of the concrete to the natural elements of the plants. Now, the main colors we focused on were mainly the gray from the architecture elements and the green for the ambient lighting and clutter objects, such as the plants. We also added red to accent some of those areas of design because it is red and green being complementary colors.
We wanted our building to be set inside of a forest, the interior littered with potted plants and an open window to not only let the forest light in, but to let the nature itself come in as well. We accomplished this by utilizing a forest skybox, a green ambient lighting, forest sounds outside the building, and having vines grow into the building through the window, which helped really create and immerse the player or anyone watching through the headset into this foresty, brutalist house. Our initial layout has some pretty big changes from our final layout. We scrapped an entire room, moved around some of our furniture placements, and created a more defined second floor. This was all to captivate the player again, to make the room taller than it originally was, and to also sort of shrink down the major space so we can increase that height. This initial layout was altered before we started creating anything in Unity, but the layout initially had the player placed in between two separate rooms, a living room and a kitchen. However, after reviewing the design with our class and professor, we had to shift away from having the kitchen in our level and work more with just having the living room, which greatly helped focus in on the furniture and the overall placements of everything inside the scene. Our final layout retained the same concept we had planned for the first design. However, we had removed the entire kitchen area and got rid of the wall next to the stairs. For this final design, we opted more to make the room feel more open and incorporate multiple floors with plans of a third floor, which was ultimately scrapped. In the end, we focused on the first and the second floor, mainly the first floor, so we can have all of our furniture down like I mentioned earlier, and have the second floor just look semi-open. Our layout concept, although changed over time, was still composed with the same concepts. We wanted our lighting to be more natural, along with a couple of lamps throughout the room. We wanted most of our assets to be near or facing our large window so that they could be lit up by the natural lighting and still have a minimalist feeling, with a higher ceiling and a more open floor plan to make the area look more grand, but still keep that roomy feeling. For our look around, we can see that we start with a basic block out with some of our more defined assets put in without textures, and not a lot of lighting at all apart from the skybox. With our second one, you can see no skybox and less lighting apart from the directional light, but we have more of our assets complete and more defined room look. And for our last one is our final look. It has everything in the room, all of our assets placed down, exact lighting that we wanted, and just that exact look we were going for in our concepts.
When it comes to the models, our team is most proud of the overall atmosphere of our VR environment, and we feel that the models really help capture how it feels to be inside of a modern, brutalist style home, especially with the stairs that we have right here, along with the window wall, as they both give off that concrete yet minimalist style that brutalism is known for. Since our focus for this project was to make a minimalist and accurate design style found in an actual brutalist building, we decided to focus on a black distinct marble floor and an interesting texture for the wall to draw the player's attention. And even though brutalism is mainly just gray concrete, we decided to try and make the concrete as unique and interesting to look at as possible. Our lighting focuses mainly on a light green coming through our large window wall and smaller red point lights throughout the scene to complement the green lighting and highlight certain areas to draw the viewer's attention toward them. And this is mainly done by using a light green directional light shining through the window, so it also gives off those small like light cutouts onto the ground. And I really do think it draws the viewer's attention towards certain parts like the lamps and even the hallway that you can't fully see down, but you see the red light coming through it. Our strongest part of the environment must be the view from the top of our stairs looking down on the main living area of the room, with the light coming through the window along with a light fog to slightly obscure the color of the objects in the room, which gives it this sort of eerie yet cozy feeling, which is what we were trying to go for with all the stylistic choices in our environment. When it comes to improvements, after completing our environment, the team identified a few areas where we could have improved. Optimization was a consistent concern throughout the development process, and while we managed to address some issues, other aspects were highlighted through feedback. And when it came to asset placement, we encountered scaling issues, which we resolved while also discussing alternative layouts in the weeks leading up to the project's deadline.